Kenny Chapman introduced me to flat rates about 20 years ago.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hourly seem great until you realize that all you're doing is punishing your best guys.
Yes.
I mean, you're saying, okay, you can get that job done in half the time, you get half the money.
Yes.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's in there cross-threading stuff, going to the parts store, and he gets paid twice as much as you for the same job.
Doesn't make sense. So how do you know when you got a good apprentice?
Fortunately, before I came out of the field, I never had one of them. But the new ones, and this is what I explained to them too, is that you should just be able to see what they're gonna need next, go grab the part. When they turn around to ask you for it, hand it to them. When you see what tool they might need, go grab it. And that's the way they've been. The guys, I tell them, if you want to know how good you're doing, do the guys ask for you, or does everybody leave you at the shop in the morning? And everybody fights over them right now, so they're definitely doing the right thing.
Do you have any idea how to know when a guy should start a business or not start a business?
If you like free time and you have a family, don't start a business. If you like to work 24 hours a day and be in it, start a business. 80% of businesses fail. Successful businesses are very hard to come by. And if you wanted to be an owner, I would highly recommend being a manager somewhere first, just so that you can really get to see the whole picture before you say, yeah, this is right for me. One of my favorite things about this job is honestly helping people and giving them what they want at a fair cost.
Welcome to Behind the Windshield with Dennis the Apprentice, the podcast where we bring you a diverse lineup of guests, apprentices, seasoned professionals, visionary entrepreneurs, business owners, and master craftsmen every week. I'm your host, Dennis. Yes, I am an apprentice because I'm never going to stop learning and trying new things. I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, and I'm a business owner of a Zoom grain franchise in Seattle, Washington. And I'm on a mission to help hardworking young people get a profitable career in the trades without a college education. So this podcast is for people who are visionary entrepreneurs, apprentices in any trade, people who want to start their own business, and even young people without any experience at all. We bring you stories, insights, and experiences that will help you learn from the success and mistakes of guests and even myself. You can find this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go! Jeff, welcome to Dennis the Apprentice Behind the Windshield at the PHCC booth at the Great Pacific Northwest Killer Trade Show.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. So Jeff, you're with Spartan.
Yep.
Not the grain machine company.
Well, it's easily confused, and we enjoy the free advertising with purchasing their products.
Awesome. So you're down in the Tacoma area.
Yep.
Running a plumbing company. You guys got a good thing going on down there.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. So Dennis the Apprentice, we talk about everything. We try to help apprentices get traction in their trade rather than the school of hard knocks. Let's get at it, right?
Yep, and that's what we want more than anything. We need more young people to be interested in this, and once they realize how much money they can make without going to college, it's a slam dunk. Yeah. So you and I worked together at a high school a couple months ago, talking, and you've had some success with that? Yeah, we actually had the job counselor contact us about a couple of kids looking to get in the apprenticeship, which we don't have any positions available, but I'm more than happy to have them come tour our shop and show them around and let them see some of the equipment and machines and things they might be working with if they get into the trade.
Awesome. And they came from that talking to making those connections.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I was surprised how many of those kids were actually genuinely interested and not just there to be there.
Awesome. That was so cool. Yeah,
it was cool to get all those cards, the personalized cards back from them, to actually see that not only did they pay attention, but they're actually interested in pursuing a job in the trades.
Absolutely. So how many apprentices do you guys have on staff?
We have 3 right now.
Three. Very good. So how do you attract people into the trades? How did you find those 3?
I think kind of one of them was a friend of somebody, and then another one just stopped by looking for a job, and we told him about everything, and it sounded like he right up his alley, and here we are.
Yeah.
And they're both doing great. Both of them have been there a little over a year now, or just about a year, and they've gone from not knowing anything to being able to let them work on their own almost now.
Awesome. You guys have training classes and stuff?
We don't have too many training classes. I do training every other week.
Okay.
We do like code training, and we work with a group called the Blue Collar Success Group. So we do a lot of training for customer interactions, how to go about presenting different options and things like that for our customers.
How to run a service call and that kind of thing?
Exactly.
Yeah. Kenny Chapman introduced me to flat rates.
Yep.
About 20 years ago.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Hourly seem great until you realize that all you're doing is punishing your best guys.
Yes.
I mean, you're saying, okay, you can get that job done in half the time, you get half the money.
Yes.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's in there cross-threading stuff, going to the parts store, and he gets paid twice as much as you for the same job.
Doesn't make sense.
We like to tell our customers when they say, hey, that was fast, and we say, you're right. but your time is valuable too, and I'd rather not have you sitting here for 2 hours if we can get the same job done in the same amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. So how do you know when you got a good apprentice? What does the young person do to impress you and go, wow, this guy's going to work out?
Well, unfortunately, before I came out of the field, I never had one of those.
Okay.
Mine, every time I turned around, would be on his phone or doing something or go, how do you do that? And I said, you're standing over my shoulder and I just did it. Didn't you watch me? Well, no. So gave up on them. But the new ones, this is what I explained to them too. I said, you should just be able to see what they're going to need next. Go grab the part. When they turn around to ask you for it, hand it to them. When you see what tool they might need, go grab it. And that's the way they've been. The guys, I tell them, if you want to know how good you're doing, do the guys ask for you, or does everybody leave you at the shop in the morning? And everybody fights over them right now, so they're definitely doing the right thing.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah. If you're an apprentice and you're the last one sent out, that's a sign that something's not right.
Yeah, that's what I tell them. It's pretty easy to tell if you're doing it right or wrong just by the way everybody is. And they've got a big job and they ask for you, and that means they trust you and your ability to help them in that job. Yeah.
Have you found a way to handle smartphones with an apprentice?
Yeah, we do FaceTime a lot.
Okay.
And it's so murky right now being able to tell actually what is and isn't, but anytime they have a question, I'm always available for them.
Right.
And I'm almost always available ready and able to answer their question within, a few seconds. So I tell them, if you get to a point where you don't think you're going to be able to do that, or you're not quite sure, instantly call me and we'll answer that question before you go find out the hard way. Because
exactly.
That's all I had to learn was the hard way. I didn't have anybody good to teach me. So
right.
After I did it wrong, I never did it again. So I tell them all they're allowed to make mistakes, just not the same ones.
Right. Take advantage of OPE, other people's experience.
Exactly.
Right? We don't live long enough to learn everything on our own. We might as well learn from other people too, right?
Yep. And those plumbing pages on Facebook are wonderful for that too.
Facebook plumbing pages.
Yep. You can get one of my favorite things that I tell the guys, you go find, what the heck is this cartridge? I've never seen this in my life. Post a picture on there. Half the comments will be calling you an idiot and telling you, but maybe one or two will say, hey, that's a this model that. That just saved you half a day of driving around from supply house to supply house.
Totally.
You can go look and find out if they're available or not and say, this part's discontinued. I can't find it. Let's give you an option for a new valve.
Yep.
And we used to spend half a day driving around only to come back and tell them that without making any money. So it really helps everybody.
Yeah. Oh, the networking on social media is immense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anybody that you follow online or on social media, other plumbers or business guys?
Not too many. Danny Gronke's a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know him.
The rapping plumber?
Yeah, he's basically the spokesperson from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we follow him and a few others, but they're all on the plumbing pages too. So there's a couple big ones. The plumbing hacks and professionals is a good one because they keep the bad talk down and down talking to people.
They've come a long way.
Yeah,
that was a rough page for a while.
Yeah. Now the plumbing mafia is the rough one, but those guys, the nice thing about that is they'll tell you how it is. Nobody's going to sugarcoat it. Some of them will try and make you feel stupid, but the other ones, especially when you're younger, will say, hey man, everybody makes these mistakes.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to learn from this and know moving forward that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
And what I always tell my guys too, if you want to know if you're doing the job right, what I used to do on every job was think to myself, if I took a picture of this and posted on that page, what's going to happen?
Yes.
Am I going to get ripped to shreds, or are only half the comments going to be negative? The other half going, hey, that looks great.
Yeah.
Good job. That's what motivates me to solder instead of using ProPress all the time. And I like to challenge myself. So
awesome. Yeah, I wonder how many industries actually have a page where from all over America or even the world, you can post your stuff and get critiqued and either praised or knocked down a level.
My guys are all afraid to post stuff on there, so I had to go back through my history and show them all the ones that I've made where I got no negative feedback on some of the different ways that I've done shower valves with drop ears.
Yeah.
So you can mount them to the studs and move them depending on how they're doing the thickness of the wall. And most of the guys say they love it and they're going to steal the idea. And some of them are like, stupidest thing I've ever seen. And so you're going to get a mixed bag no matter what you do on there.
Yeah. I post positive stuff all the time and I get a little bit of hate all the time. I'm talking about go the extra mile, be early to work. Like, what's wrong with that? I'll get guys that if I'm not getting paid, I'm not doing it. It's like.
But the cool thing about those pages too, though, is even though we're all a-holes and talk crap to each other, when people have a sick family member, a sick kid, something like that, everybody donates to their GoFundMe. Yeah. Everybody backs them, and at the end of the day, we're all plumbers and we're all here for each other.
Yeah.
We just all love to talk crap to each other.
Hold each
and
other.
that's all it is too, though. Almost nobody ever gets, really serious. It's just part of the industry. So you just got to take those punches and keep rolling.
Absolutely. That's what I learned. I didn't go to networks for a long time, and when I finally started networking and coming to trade shows, I realized that everybody's here to help, and you ask anybody a question, they'll answer it for you.
Yep. And even two guys you'll see in a big argument in there. I mean, he's got something going on. All right, brother, how can I help you?
Yep.
It's cool to see that. So it's all just posturing, basically.
Yeah.
We all really do have each other's backs at the end of the day.
Very cool. So you guys are part of PHCC.
Absolutely.
So what do you find? What do you like about PHC? How when you got connected with it, or
the networking? The biggest thing recently for us was the L&I meeting, where we could express our concerns over them not recognizing everyone's hours.
Was that cool or what? The last meeting?
It was normally there's 5-6 people at those meetings.
Yeah.
50-60 people at that one.
Yeah, it was full.
I think it opened their eyes to the fact that we're upset, we're here, and Brian is incredible.
Yes.
He doesn't have a company here in the state anymore, so he can tell it how it is, and he did not hold back. And his statement that caught everybody was, there are not enough licensed plumbers to service the people living in Washington right now. There aren't enough. So what are they going to do to fix that? And they're not recognizing people's hours, so they're absolutely doing the opposite, which is paving the way for handymen and cheaper guys to get in there that don't know how to do the work. It's creating a public health crisis, and they're not owning it at all.
Yes.
And it's completely their fault. If they're not recognizing these hours, they're keeping these people from becoming journeymen, that is 100% on them.
Yes.
So if people are out there, and you can kill people by doing improper plumbing.
Happened in Bellingham last year. Some guy did a vent not quite right in the attic, and the people died.
Yep, and there's all those things where hopefully we don't find out about more of them, but this is paving the way for those people to get in there and do that kind of work.
Yeah.
So it's scary out there.
Yeah. Very cool. So another question I've been trying to find out about is, like, there's a lot of people that feel like they need to start their own business. Do you have any idea how to know when a guy should start a business or not start a business and stay working for the business he's at?
If you like free time and you have a family, don't start a business. If you like to work 24 hours a day and be in it, start a business. I mean, there are people that are like that, but I don't want to own a business. I love managing the business, but there's a whole nother, they think, oh, I'm my own boss, everything goes away. No, you just add 10 times more stress on you, because now you have to have jobs for your employees. You have to have money to keep the doors open. You have to pay all your bills. That entire burden falls back on you as the business owner. You don't get to go, oh, I'm not happy here, I'm going somewhere else. You're it.
Yeah.
So
no, there's a definite burden that not everybody's willing to or even expecting to bear, but you start to feel responsible as a business owner myself. I actually feel responsible for everybody's mortgage.
You are.
And as you grow, it gets a heavier and heavier burden.
And even just as the manager of my company, my stepbrother is the owner, and he purchased the company from his dad.
Yeah.
So when we talk about it, it's a completely different job for us.
Yes.
It's not just for me or him. It's our entire family depends on our company.
Yes.
So it's up to us to make sure, because if we lose it, they don't get their payments anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what they use to live off of. It's what I live off of. My wife doesn't work, or one day every other couple of weeks. So I provide for my family, and Mason does as well. So without that company, we all lose our ability to provide for our family. So it's a huge responsibility. Yeah. And there are people out there that are geared for that. Just make sure you know what you're getting into.
Right. A lot of people don't believe that or understand that, but it's so true.
Yep.
Great. So do you have any idea of, is there any characteristics that if a guy should not start his own business? Like, is there like a warning, like, hey, you might not be the guy?
Having free time. I mean, that's a lot of people want to go camping. Yeah. They want to go take a week off and go here and take a week off. You can do that, but your company may be in shambles when you come back, especially if you have employees. They all seem great, but when I used to be a property manager, the saying was, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Yes. So.
Yeah, there's someone that used to work for me that started his own business, and pretty soon there's trips to Italy on Facebook and trips over here, and I'm just like, that's not your money.
No.
That's your employees' money.
Yep. And the other problem I see with them too is they take all the profit from the company and purchase things. You can't do that. You need to have 6 months of profit in the bank for when times like we're experiencing now come, because whether the government will admit it or not, we are in a downturn. Yeah.
And it looks to be continuing that way. And if you're not prepared for that, this is what weeds all those guys out.
Yeah.
At the end of next year, all those companies will be out of business and those guys will be back working for somebody else.
Yeah.
You can't do it. You got to be devoted 100% to that company if you want to succeed.
Yeah.
And it's all on you. I mean, you need to learn everything. You need to advertise. And there's just so many different aspects. And if you wanted to be an owner, I would highly recommend being a manager somewhere first,
right.
just so that you can really get to see the whole picture before you say, yeah, this is right for me.
Right. And the thing I see is you have to be able to make it rain. If you can't sell very, very well, if you're not the top sales guy in your company, you may not be ready.
There's a couple of good books out there too. I mean, 80% of businesses fail. Businesses fail. Successful businesses are very hard to come by.
Right.
And the other really important thing that book drives into you is no matter how big, no matter how many millions of dollars, almost every company is one terrible month away from failing.
Yes.
No matter how size. And once you realize that, it really, because a smart person will take their profit and either reinvest it into the business or put it in the bank. And you can't just take all that profit. You go out there and see these guys at the company and they've got a new boat and a house on the lake and all this, and you just go, uh-oh. And it's a big blow to their ego when they've got to sell that boat and they've got to downsize that house.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do, and the reason why I like working where I do so much, is because we've grown very slowly and steadily.
Yeah.
Even with the downturn and everything, we're still not looking at laying anybody off right now because we just really try and grow slow and steady. And it's hard to do because you want to just, go for the stars, but at the same time, it's not realistic.
Yeah. Well, it just leaves you fragile.
Absolutely.
For a little blow of wind in your
every dime is going back into the business at that point. And when you're having a short month, you go, I don't even know where to pull that money from.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you ain't making payroll and everybody's looking at you going, hey boss, my check didn't cash. So,
yeah, exactly. And here's a little tip. The boss will never tell you when he doesn't take a paycheck.
Nope.
Because that would make it look like things are bad. So you'll never know.
And I can tell you a lot of bosses don't take paychecks.
Yeah.
A lot.
And they go to work and they smile.
Yep.
Yep.
I think a lot of people think that the owner just sits around and collects money. And it might seem that way sometimes, but now that I'm in the office all the time, it is absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
That guy has a lot more stress and a lot more concerns than you do. And ultimately, they're for you and about you too, because if you succeed, he succeeds. So
Right. I remember it was a few years ago now, but I went on a ride-along with one of my guys. And it was like meditation. It was like I only had one thing to think about, was helping him with his jetter. And that's when I realized how much I have going on in my mind in the office, how many jobs I'm caring about and people I'm worried about and concerned about and customers, that on a job site, it was like meditation for me.
Oh yeah, I get pulled in 50 different directions every day, and our marketing person will say, hey, I haven't heard from you, and I'll send her a message. Well, there's 30 phone calls from the last hour and a half. So I've been busy, and they're all about, where do I get this part, or what do I do here? And I've got to be able to answer all those questions as fast as I can to get to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't ever leave anybody hanging.
So why do we do it?
Honestly, it's a love for the business.
Yeah.
And for my customers. One of my favorite things about this job is honestly helping people and giving them what they want at a fair cost.
Yes.
We are absolutely not ripping people off, and it feels great to see what some other companies charge and know that we're doing basically the same thing. And every company has different overheads, so you can't really judge a company for what they charge. You just need to make sure they're delivering the work that they're charging for.
Right.
That's the most important thing. And the smaller companies, sure, they're cheaper, but when that floods your house and breaks and he doesn't answer his phone and his business is gone, what do you do?
Yeah.
You call a mid-sized company. We've been around since 1958. If you call us in 10 years with a problem, we'll still be there. We'll still come back and help you out.
Yeah.
The other guys are either going to be gone or hard to find. So you need to find that fine line between small and too big.
Right.
So
I think it's there's something that people don't realize, but beyond money, we get a reward out of helping people. And you can't buy that, but it feels so good.
Oh, people don't realize, I'd be fine without my water heater. 12 hours later, I need my water heater. I can't do dishes. I can't do laundry. I can't take a shower.
Yeah.
Your main line breaks or something like that. And the way a lot of people take advantage of those situations is it's something they have to do now. And if you overcharge, they don't have time to get estimates. They don't have time to call other people. So you got to be honest with everybody and every price to make sure that those customers not only are happy with what you did, but they're going to call you and recommend you to their friends too.
Awesome.
We get a lot of our business through recommendations, and the only way you do that is by doing good work.
Very cool. Well, Jeff, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the rest of the trade show.
Yep, thanks for having me.
You got it. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the show. Did you agree? Did you disagree? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. Making the trades the place to be for young people is a team effort. So share this with someone and help us all out.